Donald Trump has vowed to apply economic force to annex Canada into the United States, provoking uproar around the world. And Canada were joined as one country, with Canada's provinces shown as states. Another map he shared showed what is now Canada under the US flag. He wrote, "Many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States could no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the US, there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be." Politicians across the spectrum were outraged in Canada. The likely next Conservative Prime Minister, Pierre Poilievre, said, "Canada will never be the 51st state, period, saying Canada is a great and independent country. That it's a best friend to the US and has spent billions buying its products and supporting its foreign policy." He blamed the, quote, "weak and pathetic" Trudeau government for failing to help the Americans see Canada's loyalty. He signed off by saying he will put Canada first, in an echo of Trump's policies. Outgoing PM Justin Trudeau, who Trump called the governor of the 51st state, Canada, took to X to say, quote, "There isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States." But illustrating just how little respect Trump's administration has for the Canadian government, Elon Musk replied to the tweet saying, quote, "You're not the governor of Canada anymore, so doesn't matter what you say." On Pierre Poilievre's comments, an unbothered Trump had this to say.
Mr. President, if we were to work under the assumption that you're serious about making Canada the 51st state of the United States, the leader of the Conservative Party in Canada said, under no circumstance will it ever be the 51st state.
Maybe he won't win, but maybe he will. I don't care.
You had suggested.
Listen, I don't care what he says.
Trump then argued that Canada was more reliant on the US than the other way round, and belittled Canada's Prime Minister as the governor of the 51st state.
As I called him Governor Trudeau, I said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you, if we didn't, because we give them a lot of money. No right. But why are we supporting a country, 200 billion plus a year? Our military is at their disposal, all of these other things. They should be a state. That's why I told Trudeau when he came down, I said, what would happen if we didn't do it?
Green Party MP Elizabeth May tore into Trump and suggested states in the US should actually join Canada instead.
Canadian system is different from that of the United States of America. I suggest that Mr. Trump find one of his grandchildren's school books and look at the year 1776, which may explain a few things to him about why our systems of government are different. I don't want to belittle Mr. Trump, but on the other hand, hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? California, Oregon, Washington, you've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia. There's been a lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California, Governor Newsom, and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected Governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. How about it? Want to put a referendum to your citizens? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free health care. Universal free health care. No more one-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news.
The threat to take Canada comes as Donald Trump vows to acquire Greenland from Denmark for national security purposes. Take a listen.
Thank you very much.
Donald Trump Jr. headed to the Arctic island to meet with locals as Trump vowed again to apply economic pressure to force Denmark to give up the territories. The president-elect shared a video to X of a Greenlander demanding Trump buy the island.
Okay.
So, if you could tell Trump anything, what would it be?
Buy us. Buy Greenland?
Buy Greenland.
Why do you want Trump to buy Greenland?
Because we don't want to be colonized by Danish government anymore. We get ripped every year about our minerals from Greenland. We are the richest nation in the world, and we don't get to use it. Denmark's using us too much.
Do you like America?
I love America. But people are too fat over there.
Greenland is a resource-rich land, which Trump sees as the answer to reducing US reliance on China for raw earth materials the country desperately needs. The Americans see acquiring it as a matter of national security and fear the Danes would not be able to defend it from Chinese or Russian threats. Donald Trump told Greenlanders the world needs the security of Greenland and assured the islanders America was going to, quote, treat them well.
I just want to say that it's a very special place. It needs security for itself, but it also needs security very much for the world. The location really, you see the people and the ships sailing around, and they're not the right ships, and they're not the ships you want to know about. So we need security, and our country needs it, and the whole world needs it.
Yes.
You're so strategically located.
Yeah.
So it's really imperative.
You are right.
I just want to thank everybody.
You guys like that, right?
Yeah, we're learning a lot. It's been great. Actually, incredibly beautiful place. The people are incredible. The welcome was spectacular. It's pretty amazing.
Well, that's great. Well, you go have a good time, everybody, and we're going to treat you well. You know that, and just take care of yourselves. Thank you all very much.
But Greenland MP Aya Chemnitz said Greenland was not for sale.
I think in many ways it's not a question of whether should we be American or Danish citizens. It's a question of whether should we maybe collaborate a bit more with the US. We shouldn't be bought by anyone because Greenland is not for sale and Greenland will not be for sale, but we can have a closer collaboration on business development with the US. If you only look at it from a visit from an American tourist, I think it's great. But we all know that the timing and also the dad to Trump Jr. is of course saying that he would like to own and control Greenland. And we don't like that. We find it quite disrespectful in Greenland.
Trump refused to commit to not using military force to take it over, and then vowed to take back the Panama Canal.
But the deal was that, you know, they have to treat us fairly. They don't treat us fairly. They charge more for our ships than they charge for ships of other countries. They charge more for our Navy than they charge for navies of other countries. They laugh at us because they think we're stupid, but we're not stupid anymore. So the Panama Canal is under discussion with them right now. They violated every aspect of the agreement, and they've morally violated it also.
Furious EU leaders warned Trump they would not allow attacks on sovereign borders, with French President Emmanuel Macron leading the charge. The French Foreign Minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, said, quote, "There is obviously no question that the European Union would let other nations of the world attack its sovereign borders, whoever they are. We are a strong continent." He then turned his attacks on Elon Musk, who is part of Trump's administration, for his comments on the UK grooming gang scandal and Germany's election, with threats to ban X. Obama accused the ex-owner of spreading lies.
Those that are spreading lies and misinformation as far and as wide as possible. They're not interested in victims. They're interested in themselves. Those who are cheerleading Tommy Robinson, not interested in justice. They're supporting a man who went to prison for nearly collapsing a grooming case, a gang grooming case. These are people who are trying to get some kind of vicarious thrill from street violence that people like Tommy Robinson promote. And those attacking Jess Phillips, who I'm proud to call a colleague and a friend, not protecting victims. Jess Phillips has done 1,000 times more than they've even dreamt about when it comes to protecting victims of sexual abuse throughout her entire career.
Nicholas Dunning, GB News.